Yo, what's up you guys? Today I want to share with you a dope story regarding the power of imagining. That might even be hard for some of you to believe, you know what I'm saying, based on what it entails. So keep an open mind. But before I get into it, hit that subscribe button and the bell right next to it to get your weekly dose of inspirational stories, tips, and teachings. Did you do it? Trust me, you don't want to miss them. Alright, let's do this. In his book, The Law and the Promise, Neville mentions a story of a guy who was faithful to his vision, a true imaginist, as you like to say, where he was so faithful to his vision, get this, that he remembered what he'd heard in his imagination. Now, what the heck does that mean? Stay with me. As the story goes, there was this guy who really loved opera. He was very passionate about it. So a friend of his tried getting him Kirsten Flagstad's, she's an opera singer, complete recording of Tristan and Isolde for him at Christmas. They're a set of records. But in over a dozen record stores, he was told the same thing, that RCA Victor, the record label, wasn't reissuing the recording, and that there had been no copies of it available since June. But the guy didn't want to give up the search. So on December 27th, he was determined to prove Neville's principle that imagining creates reality by still trying to get the album. Here's what he did. Ready? While he was lying down in his living room, he mentally walked into the record shop that he frequently went to and asked the one salesman whose face and voice he remembered, "Do you have Flagstad's Complete Isolde?" That's the name of the set of records. And he replied, "Yes, I have." That's it. That was a short imaginal scene he created for himself. But he repeated it over and over again, listen, until it was real to him. He repeated it until it was real to him. That's the key. Then late that afternoon, he went to that specific record shop to physically enact the scene, to play out what he saw in his imagination. But here's the thing. Not one detail that his senses were telling him encouraged him to believe that he'd walk out of that shop with those records. Why? Because he'd already been told the same story his friend heard that last September by the same salesman in the same shop. In other words, based on reason alone, there was no point in giving it another try, right? He was just wasting his time. However, he believed in the power of imagining, which makes all the difference, folks. And here's what happened. When he approached the salesman at the record shop, the same one he saw in his imagination that morning, he asked him for that specific set of records. And the salesman said, "No, we haven't." Ready for this? Without saying anything out loud to him, he said inwardly, "That's not what I heard you say." Did you get that? Inwardly, he said, "That's not what I heard you say." And as he turned to leave the shop, he noticed on a top shelf what looked like an advertisement for the set of records. So he told the salesman, "Look, if you don't have the merchandise, you shouldn't advertise it." And the salesman agreed. Check this out. As he reached up to take it down, guess what he discovered? It was the complete album with all 5 records. Boom. Dope stuff. Now, the scene didn't play out exactly as he constructed it, right? But the result confirmed what his imaginal scene implied. In fact, the imaginal scene was so real to him, don't overlook this, that when the salesman said they didn't have it, what did he say again mentally? "That's not what I heard you say. That's not what I heard you say." It was like an instant reaction where he was convinced of what he experienced in his imagination. Because not only did he remember what he'd heard, but he was still remembering it. He was still remembering it. That's how real it was to him. That's the kind of state you want to be in, you guys. You want to live in the end. So whatever it is you want today, whether it's money, healing, material object, you name it, don't forget that imagining is a spiritual sensation. What that means is, don't just think about what you want. Think from it. Enter the feeling of your wish fulfilled. How? By the use of imaginal sight and sound, scent and taste and touch. Because by doing so, Neville says that you'll be giving to your image the sensory vividness that's necessary to produce that image in your outer world, straight up. And so your assumption, though false now, if persisted in, will harden into fact, because you get what you believe. Yeah. Alrighty guys, don't forget to hit that like button and to leave a review if you're listening via podcast. In case you didn't know, it gets more people to discover my work and of course help spread this message. And yo, don't forget to register for my free online training that'll seriously help you start manifesting the life you really want right now. So check it out. The link's in the description. Like I always say, more's coming. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.